One of the things that we wanted to do was have all of the lead characters, for the most part, except for the Sharon Gless character, were gay characters. And at the time, gay characters were represented as either eunuchs or clowns. They were they were sexless. They were worked in an office. They were the gay nephew.
They were to be laughed at.
Laughed at, and had no sexual life. And this was an opportunity to have characters who had a sexual life. It was supposed to be a celebration of gay life. Our youngest character, Justin, who takes us into this world, there's no thought of suicide or angst. He was very anxious to be part of this world. It was about the joy of being gay, celebrating it. That was the main thrust of it. Because gay people have been portrayed as people who wanted to kill themselves, jump in the ocean, hang themselves. This was not what the show was about.
No. I think to talk about Queer as Folk, the same as with Early Frost, it's very important to put it into its time period, what was going on in the country when that show was done. And that's why I made my notes. But I remember at that time, Bill Clinton had signed the Defense of Marriage Act, DOMA, which, was a federal law that marriage was between a man and a woman, and that if marriage was recognized in one state, and at that time I think the only state that recognized gay marriage was Massachusetts, so it said that marriage in one state did not have to be recognized by any other state in the country, and that marriage was between a man and a woman. He signed that. He also signed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. This was not a Republican president. This was Bill Clinton who signed that bill as well. If you were in the military, they were not allowed to ask you if you were gay, but you were also not allowed to tell them you were. And if you told them you were, then you were dishonorably discharged, I guess. That was there. Sodomy laws were on the books still in 14 states. And President Bush made a speech in the Rose Garden saying that he wanted to have the Constitution of the United States changed to say that marriage is between a man and a woman. Okay. This was the world at that time that we were writing Queer as Folk in. So it was not a gay-friendly world. It isn't particularly now either, although, you can get married. But other things certainly have not changed, and we can talk about that later if you want to. But that was the world in which we were developing this show. So we had a lot to write about. And as the years went on, somewhere in the middle, probably around 2003, that's when Bush was elected. The show was more playful, more lighthearted the first couple of years, although there were certainly issues that we were dealing with. There was no shortage of that. There are plenty of issues that we were still dealing with, gay bashing and everything else that we dealt with. But after Bush was president, the world got much darker for gay people, and the show got darker and became more and more political because it had to be. It had to reflect the time that we were living in. This was a show that reflected the time in which it was written. And I'm sorry if it sounds immodest, and I don't mean to sound immodest, but I believe, and I know Dan agrees with me, that in the future, if people want to know what it was like for gay people living in an urban setting at the turn of the 21st century in America, that Queer as Folk will be a document of record.